I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast.
It's not about personality matrixels and charts. It's all about the bumps in your heart.
What's up, YouTube? Ryan here. I am in Kansas City, on the Kansas side, not the Missouri side. But anyway, what I want to talk to you about tonight is something very, very important when it comes to building your brand and becoming really who you're meant to be. And as you know, in the last vlog, we spent time talking about how it's important for you to invest in yourself. And before you do that, you really need to understand what it is you want to be known for, which is the vlog that we talked about before. All of these are they're all like puzzle pieces that when you put them together, it forms the brand that's called you. And one of those pieces is you becoming self-aware. Now, what does self-awareness mean? You hear this term batted around a lot. Well, self-awareness is simply being aware of yourself and your emotions and your skills and your traits and your values and how you are perceived by others. Now, why is self-awareness so important? First, the more you know about yourself, the better you'll be able to make choices and decisions in your life and in your career. Second, as you become more self-aware, you will begin to realize when you should say something, when you should say nothing, and when you should just observe and see what's taking place. Because you're self-aware, you understand how others perceive you. So therefore, you exercise the discipline that goes along with your self-awareness. I have a friend who was in a meeting not long ago, and one of his core strengths is being analytical. So he wants to know details. He needs data. He has to have these things in order for his mind to process information. So as he sits in this meeting, he begins to ask questions to the presenter. 1 question, 2 questions, 3 questions, over and over and over. And at some point realizes, hey, I probably should stop asking questions because I'm making this person feel bad. I'll save my questions for outside of the meeting. Otherwise, he could have just kept asking questions, and ultimately somebody else in that room, they would have actually seen the person who was asking the questions as just trying to be kind of a pain in the butt. And that's not a reputation that you want to get. So that's why it's so important for you to know when you have to pull yourself back and not proceed when you get to those points where you need to stop and move on to something else. Third, you need to become self-aware because your self-awareness can act as goalposts for you, or sidelines on a soccer court or pitch, whatever they call it, or on a basketball court or a football field. But those lines exist, and you know when you cross over that line, or you know not to cross over a particular line, because you know your strengths, you know your values, you know your traits, you know how others perceive you, and you know when to keep your mouth closed, and you know when it's time to speak up and add value. Another reason self-awareness is so important as it relates to your career is this. Too many of us chase a title, or we chase a position that we think other people want us to have, not because we don't know any better, but because we're not self-aware enough to know whether or not that position actually aligns with our aspirations and who we are. We're just not self-aware enough. So it's highly possible that what you are actually pursuing is a title that you're in love with, or you're in love with the thought of you holding that title, but maybe what you're shooting for or aiming for is not aligned with who you are. And that's what the whole define step in the DICE process is about. It's helping you understand who you are, what you want to become known for, and all of that aligns with you as a person. And you won't know that if you're not self-aware enough to understand this. You can't build a brand without knowing who you are. You can't understand what you want to be known for without knowing who you are. And you shouldn't invest in yourself without understanding the first 2. All of those put together are the puzzle pieces that form the overall puzzle that is you. Figure out those things that make you uniquely you, and then go align your career with you instead of trying to align you to a career that you chose when you were at a really young age. So with that, today's vlog